Weed Sport was the tight and twisty affair that you might expect, but as we travel down the coast and head to the swamps of Florida, new opportunities for excitement begin to present themselves. Welcome, everyone, to Round 3 of Season 11 for the Bootleg Racing League's Dirt Street Stock Series. We're here at the virtual Volusia Speedway, and my name is DJ Clark. And on behalf of the Virtual Grip Network, my partner here in the booth, John Hine, our director Mike Yao, as well as everyone behind the scenes at VGN, we'd like to thank you for joining us here tonight. John, Volusia is a track that is loved by fans and drivers alike, but what can you tell us about this Florida circuit that we already don't know?
Well, it's a half mile in length, and it's not a complete oval. We say it's an oval, but it's got a little bit of a dog leg down the backstretch there. Will allow you to really swing out coming out of turn 2, take an interesting angle into turn 3, and it creates a lot of excitement on both of those points. Guys can swing out, like I said, at enter. Some guys will see that as a hole to put their nose in underneath them, and you know, it's just fun. Every part of this track will challenge these drivers tonight, and the cool thing is I got a feeling it's going to be a tight field and lots of options.
Well, lots of options is exactly what we are hoping for, and the options that we want to see is a good championship battle, which it certainly seems like it is shaping up to be that way, with Brandon Proudfoot currently topping the charts right now with 167 points. Behind him is Johnny Ratley with 158, just a few points back there. Hargraves only 6 points back of Johnny Ratley, and Billy Northcutt still very much in the mix, and Chris Davis having a good run this year to be up in the top 5. You can see the rest of the drivers, a very fierce battle there for P6, and a little bit of a drop off there as it goes down, but as always is the case, we won't know how this shakes out until the very end, because no drop rounds means that it is always a tightly contested championship until the end. But John, tonight the format, it's the same story on a different day. We're running that standard street stock dirt format with heat racing.
Yeah, 6 laps for each heat race. The top 2 will transfer to the main, and then we take everybody else, put them in a couple of consies, run a few laps, and everybody, as of right now, it looks like everybody will probably make it in tonight. But it's all set up for a really good night of racing.
And a good night of racing is what we can expect from this Florida dirt track. Good temperatures out there, about 62 degrees Fahrenheit out on track. And there you can see those provisional practice times, 39% humidity, which is very low for Florida. So definitely good conditions out there. And in that humidity, that temperature, John, how is that going to affect the track and the running out here?
Well, the low humidity will let the track dry out probably just a little bit quicker. So you'll see the track gets slicker. Guys will have to adjust their lines probably a little bit earlier. We might see, maybe even late as the final heat race or at least the first consi. The change in the track between those 2 races is going to probably be significant. Where it's really going to play an effect to someone, let's say, is in the first heat race, they qualify into the main, and next thing you know, they're in the A main. They go from their heat all right to that A main, and it could be a half hour between the times they're on the track and just be a completely different track, and they're going to have to adjust on the fly.
Well, we'll have to see who is able to adjust. As always, the guy to talk about when you are talking about those adjustments is Brandon Proudfoot. Still waiting for him to enter the session, however, so it may be a second here for our current championship leader to enter on in. Johnny Ratley, though, who we ride on board with, that is his main rival. There's been some very good runs from Ratley here, just doing a little bit of practice, following behind J.R. Shepard here, trying to figure out those lines coming off the corners.
Yeah, and there's a couple lines you can do. You can go right up where the cushion's kind of formed. You see the guys running, right where that dark and that lighter dirt is. You can also get those cars right down on the wall here and hook the wall and really make the same amount of time as long as you hit your marks. A little more difficult to do that down on the low side than it is the high, but if you can do it, man, you can make up some time down there.
Well, John, you and I are very familiar with this track. We've called quite a few races from here. If you had to take a roll of the dice, would you be running high or would you be running low here early on?
In these cars, I would be running low. You don't have the power. Like, I'm accustomed to being in a sprint car here or a late model or something. But these cars, they're momentum cars, and because of how sweeping these turns are, you can't keep your momentum up on the bottom, and that's why it stays viable here. and that's where I would be early on. Now in the race, I'd have to search and just kind of see. It usually dictates where other guys are. You can't just drive through them, so sometimes you got to pass them where there's not, so you got to be ready to adjust.
Well, we'll see about that adjustment as Johnny Ratley here taking a little bit of your advice, trying to dive that number 1 machine down low, currently working his way around a little bit on the number 93. That is Chris Hazlip in that yellow machine that you see up there on the high side, and it looks like Ratley's going to be able to pull himself ahead. Now remember, these times from practice, not always the best indicator of who is going to be quick here tonight, because a lot of these drivers will be able to get out early and quick. They will come out and set a fast time when the track is very, very green. As the track wears in a little bit, it gets a little bit slower as this practice session goes along.
Yeah, and if you enter the session and get out on track, one of the first cars on track, you're probably going to be a tenth, 2 tenths quicker than, let's say, somebody that's entering here in the last couple of minutes. I see Brandon Brownfoot's name up on the list. He hasn't entered the track, but if he went out there, we know Brandon's fast, but he probably would be mid-pack, maybe towards the back with the track conditions the way they are.
Indeed. Ratley, though, does look like he's been able to make some moves. Here is Bobby Hayes in the fistful of water, number 13. He's going to work his way around, trying out a little bit of a middle line here in that 13 machine, kind of just riding a little bit of that tacky stuff, that sort of light brown that you talked about earlier, John.
Yeah, and you just put your right side tires up on it, and it just you get that bite coming off the corner. It helps launch you down the straightaways here. And this is a bigger track than a lot of the ones we go to. It's a big half mile. That momentum is key in getting those runs out of the corner. If you mess up, bog the car down or whatnot, it can take you a half a lap, almost like restrictor plate racing. Take you a whole lap or half a lap or lap to get back to speed.
Indeed, and so we're going to have to keep an eye out for that, as well as many other things over the course of the race. But the thing that I currently have my eye on is something that is not present right now, and that is the number 22 machine of Brandon Proudfoot, our championship leader and reigning multi-time champion. Not in the session quite yet, not sure where he's at, and this could be a huge wrench in the works for the championship. As we said, no drop rounds in this series, so if he misses tonight, that could be a huge opportunity for Johnny Ratley to take control of this championship.
Absolutely. This league, and both on the asphalt and the dirt side, it is so much easier to lose points than it is to gain them. And he's got about 1 minute and 10 seconds to get in here. And if he misses, boy, that could almost, the way Johnny Ratley's been running, it could sink his championship hopes for this season altogether.
Hearing news that we're seeing him loading into the session now, so that may be a little bit of a saving grace. He's got a minute about left here in practice. Need to get here in time for qualifying, so we'll have to see what happens as everybody works their way around. Ratley continuing to be up on the top. Bobby Hayes working his way around. And obviously the track is going to reset here for qualifying. They're going to send those virtual water trucks out. And then after that, we're not going to see them over the course of the night. Everything is going to be as it is. So you've got to be able to read that track as you were talking about, John.
Yeah, it is very important to do that. And that's the thing that I think is the most fun about dirt racing. Asphalt, you got one line, the fast line. It may move up half a foot or whatever, so some rubber gets put in. But here, it is changing constantly. What you're doing in the car in the heat, it may be completely different than what you're doing in the feature.
Exactly, and you've got to be able to respond to it as we check in on Joe Segala here, who puts his last couple of laps down in practice as they get going. Barney the flagman waving the checkered flag for Segala, and there we go. We are done with practice. It is time to put the rubber to the dirt. It's time for qualifying here at the virtual Volusia Speedway. Waiting for the drivers to make their way out here, and this qualifying always very, very crucial. You want to try to come out and get the best time you can, because that's going to set you up in the heat races, and you do not want to have to be squabbling from the back in the heats. You want to be starting on the front foot.
Absolutely. Especially when the track is heavy like what it is now, you want to be up front just so you can put your foot in it. You don't have to worry about braking or or letting off a little bit not to run over somebody in front of you. If you're on that front row, you go into turn one in the heat, you just hold her wide open.
Indeed, as we watch the 75 of John Wilson here working his way around, coming off of turn 4, waiting for those first times to be put onto the board. And it's going to be William Hargraves right up at the top. Hunter Hill is going to be behind him. John Wilson only good enough for third. Shinosky and Robinson, your top 5 right now. Waiting to see if anybody else is going to be able to pip their way up forward. Bobby Hayes with a mega lap, able to come in P2. A good run there for the Fistful of Water driver.
Yeah, Hargraves with that 46 is, now we see times coming down there. Jason Best now coming in with a 1952. Those are some outstanding laps around here for these cars.
Indeed, Chris Hill up into third place, and we're seeing some drivers here do what we sort of call the Billy Northcutt, William Hargraves strategy that was pioneered by them, running a lap or two and then taking the car back into the pits, letting everything cool down and running a lap or two at the end. Some drivers out here, like the 93 of Hazlip, preferring to go out and run all 4 laps consecutively. Hazlip right now currently in 8th out of the 10 drivers that have qualified, still waiting for times from Ratley, Northcutt, Shepard, and Steven Spies. Spies, by the way, are in Race Reporter. We'll be talking to him briefly once he gets some laps down on the board, and he'll give us a little bit of a sense of how this track is going.
Yeah, Steven's always got great insight to what's going on the track. He's a teammate of mine, so I get to hear it live usually in our team channel when we run other leagues and stuff like that. Very smart driver, and he's helped me out quite a bit too from time to time reading track. So he's a good one to have here tonight.
Always good to hear him. Billy Northcutt parking the car after running a second best time, only 39 thousandths of a second off of William Hargraves. Johnny Ratley able to bump his way up into P4, and he's also going to park it as well. Looks like a little bit of a problem there for Hill as he caught some of the very, very rough dirt on the outside of 3 and 4. I know, John, you've talked to me multiple times about just how tricky it is to run super high through 3 and 4.
Yeah, there's a huge bump, and right now it's probably not too bad. It's still there and can upset the car. Later in the feature, if they work it high enough, you're going to be, those guys will be up there and pulling their best Dukes of Hazzard impression, because it'll bounce you around. I know that we've been here before, and I've showed you in a sprint car, when that thing builds way up, that becomes a very, very big challenge.
Ooh, and here's a lap to watch. Johnny Ratley going purple through the first sector, but not able to improve through 3 and 4. But he is going to be good enough for second place. That should be pole for the second heat race here tonight. I can officially report, by the way, that our championship leader, Brandon Proudfoot, is in the session, so have no fears there if you are a fan of the 22. But as of right now, let's go ahead and pull in our in-race reporter, Mr. Steven Spies, to give us a little bit of color about how this track is feeling at the moment. Having a little bit of problem on my computer right now as I try to get him on in here. There we go. Steven, pretty decent time out there for you. Only 11th quick, but how's the track feeling?
I wasn't... I kind of was spaced out and didn't even realize it was qualifying time, so I just kind of jumped out there and didn't know what I was doing, but track felt okay. It's starting to get tacky. It's a little slick right now. Looks like it's starting to get a cushion, but I'm guessing I was on the wrong line and probably needed to be down along that wall.
Do you think that's going to be the way to go through the heat races themselves, or do you think that line's going to move up as everything gets a little more slicked in?
Yeah, I know in the practice, whenever I jumped in, I didn't get any practice in this week, but just the few minutes I had here as that slick develops in the middle, I think if you just keep your right tires just on the top side of that slick, I think you'll be all right. It has to get, typically anyway, really, really slick for the wall to be the fast way around at Volusia. I may be way out in left field, but we'll see what we got.
Well, we'll see indeed, and we'll let you go here, Steven, because it's time to go heat racing tonight. at Volusia Speedway. Starting off in pole position for the first heat race, it will be William Hargraves with Billy Northcutt to his outside, Jason Best behind him with Chris Hill in fourth. Bobby Hayes will be fifth place, followed by Joe Segala with Robbie Robinson and Matt Shinoski rounding out your 8-car field. And as we talked about a little bit earlier, only the top 2 advancing out of here, John, so it is very, very frenetic to try to work your way up forward.
Yeah, it really, really is. And, I think everybody's going to kind of fight for that bottom, too, so that's going to be more important. What I'm going to be looking for here is to see if, what kind of start that Hargraves get. And then Jason Best in that third position, I think he's going to be in a good position maybe to get that transfer spot away from Northcutt. That's going to be, I think, the real battle. If Northcutt can keep his momentum going up high and, if Best can really hit his marks down low, that's going to be a battle for sure.
It sure will, and only 2 heat races out here tonight. Everybody will transfer to the A main, so no worries about that for these drivers. But right now, it is going to be Hargraves starting off on that inside line as leader does get lane choice here. 71 going to be going around one more time as it is a 2-lap pace. So you're watching to see who's going to be down on that low line there. That's what you're going to be looking for here, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the place to be here for Heat 1, and maybe towards the Heat 1 you might be able to see just right to their door. I wouldn't even say the second lane, but that low line widened to where you might be able to fit a car and a half in there, and that's what I'd be looking for.
Well, we won't have long to wait to keep looking for that, as now we get ready to go green for the first heat race here tonight. Pace truck scampers off onto the inside, and control of the field goes to William Hargraves, waiting, and he gets on it coming out of turn 4. It's a good start for Hargraves. He's able to pull about a car length lead over Billy Northcutt. Just as you predicted, Jason Best trying to look down to the inside of Billy Northcutt, but doesn't look like he's able to have it. Chris Hill trying to run a little bit to the outside, but the top 4 in single file as they dive into 3.
Yeah, Northcutt got a great run through 1 and 2 here, and these guys are actually up about a half a lane further, almost a lane further than what I anticipated them being. Now they go a little bit lower through this corner here, but good single file racing right here, right now, and Northcutt is all over the bumper of Hargraves.
Yes, he is trying to take that P1 away from him. Best really sliding the car in there into 3 to see if he can get anything going there. Northcutt continuing to follow behind. Literally no gap in there between the 2. I would say maybe a quarter of a car length, if that. Some good battles going on in the back there. Robbie Robinson running around in 7th. Shinoski looking to his inside. Them trying to get a little bit of a run on Chris Hill, who's down 2 spots on the day. Robinson now looking into the inside of that 05.
Yeah, good battles and each one of these are important too, because where you start in the feature can be dictated here, and the more cars you pass in your heat and even your consi, the less you have to pass a little bit later on. We got some contact up front.
Yeah, that was a big check up there from Billy Northcutt as he tried to look to the inside of William Hargraves, had to check himself up. Jason Best getting into the side of him. That's going to allow for Bobby Hayes to pull up a little bit and maybe have a little bit of a look. It's now about 3 to 4 car lengths in between William Hargraves and Billy Northcutt. Jason Best looking to try to take that locked-in transfer position away from him as they come to the white flag. Working their way around now through 1 and 2. Best down to the inside on Billy Northcutt, seeing if there's anything to have, but it looks like Northcutt able to carry momentum around the high side. Bobby Hayes trying to see if there's anything to have, and Joe Segala running in 5th. But it is going to be William Hargraves who leads them around out of turn 4 to the checkered flag here, and he will take victory in heat number 1. Billy Northcutt hanging on by the skin of his teeth to take that second transfer position. Behind them, it'll be Jason Best and Bobby Hayes, the first of your drivers, going back to the consolation races. And then we get ready to see the rest of that field. But now it's time for the second heat race, and it's going to be title rivals. Leading off in row 1, Johnny Ratley and Brandon Proudfoot, 1 and 2, followed by J.R. Shepard and John Wilson. Hunter Hill will be behind him with our in-race reporter Steven Spees, and Chris Hazlip will bring up the back of the field. Well, John, some pretty interesting stuff in there. We saw a little bit of a racy track, not a lot of overtaking done necessarily, but plenty of good looks down to the inside and outside of one another.
Absolutely. If you look as these guys roll off in the entry to turn 1, you've already got a pretty good slick line right where guys are turning in here. That is a result of the low humidity here, and the track is drying out pretty quickly. I didn't expect it to dry this quickly, but that's going to really shuffle the board here for what these guys do. A lot of these guys are out on the track. They're looking at it. They're going to find when they turn into turn one, their car may not do what they wanted to do if they cross that slick.
Indeed, they're not, and a little bit of a change in the status quo here, as you eyes do not deceive you. That is Johnny Ratley starting to the outside. Now, we were saying that inside line looked like the way to go. What could be causing him to want to move up there and take that outside line, John?
It's wide enough now that you can carry your momentum off the corners, and that's probably what Johnny Ratley saw in that last race. What he's probably going to count on here is be able to go into turn one, keep his foot in it, keep the momentum up, and just drive right around Proudfoot as they exit turn two.
Well, all right. He's going to have some stiff competition behind him to be watching out for, though, as J.R. Shepard and John Wilson, respectively, are no slouches there. So we get ready here with Johnny Ratley starting to the outside as the pace truck pulls off into pit lane, waiting for the green flag to fly here for the second heat race, and fly. The green flag does, and there you go. Johnny Ratley just absolutely keeping it pinned around the outside of Brandon Proudfoot. The 22 forced to settle back into second place. Looks like John Wilson carrying some good momentum around the outside. Steven Spees already up one position into fifth place, and he's looking to split the difference in between the two of John Wilson and J.R. Shepard for third.
Yeah, right now the fast line is right above the slick. They're not going all the way up to the top. You see Proudfoot, he's running right above the slick and not quite up on that cushion yet, and that really launched Johnny Ratley through 1 and 2 to take control of this race.
Indeed, Ratley holding about a 2-3 car length advantage there as we've got a battle for third position. That is our in-race reporter, Steven Spees, trying to work to the inside of J.R. Shepard. Now he's going to fall back into line as Proudfoot starts to look a little bit on the leader of Johnny Ratley. Spees falling back to the tune of about 2 car lengths as they work their way down that curved back straightaway, diving down now into 3 and 4. Looks like Proudfoot starting to try to get a little bit of a run to the inside of Johnny Ratley. It's a battle for the lead as we cross the halfway point here in the second heat race.
Yeah, this tight battle once again, though, up front. It's just kind of what we saw before. You know, the leader in second place just bumper to bumper all the way around the track here. Well, it's going to be interesting to see if Brandon, you know, he's good at moving around and finding speed in places. We'll see if he can do it before the end of this heat race.
Indeed, Steven Spees, though, looking to be in trouble there as John Wilson able to get to his inside, working down that curving back straightaway as they come now through 3 and 4 for the ultimate time. White flag in the air from Barney the Flag Man as Johnny Ratley continues to lead. Spees now trying to hold on to everything he has as Hunter Hill's going to try to look to his inside, but we focus back in on the lead. White flag in the air, as I said, as this is Brandon Proudfoot trying to find room to the inside of Johnny Ratley. It's a now or never move if he wants to try to take victory here in this heat race. A little bit of a slider, but he catches himself. Checkered flag in the air for Johnny Ratley. Brandon Proudfoot automatically advancing behind him. Everybody else looks like it's going to be Shepard, Wilson, Spees, Hill, and Hazlip, who will be forced to go back to the C and B main events. There you can see that finishing order there. As I said, Shepard, Wilson, Spees, Hill, and Hazlip all having to go back into what will be the consolation races. But no fear, everybody is going to make it today as we get ready for the first of 2 of those consolation races. Jason Best going to be leading us off here in the C main, followed by Bobby Hayes, Joe Segala, Chris Hill, and Matt Shinosky will round out your 5-car field. And John, with nobody having to worry about not making it into the A main, what does that do to your mentality as a driver here running in these consies? Are you able to be a little bit more aggressive, or is it a little bit more of a I can relax and just get myself into the show?
A little bit of both. You know, you can relax a little bit because you know a mistake's not going to put you out. But in the same token, you don't want to put yourself in a bad position, because let's say you win this, you know, you're in a really good starting spot for the A, but if you put yourself in a bad spot and let's say you go for the lead, maybe spin yourself trying to take the lead or wreck the other guy and you both wreck, next thing you know, you're on the back of the pack for the A, and that really, you know, hurts your chances of getting a good finish in the A main. So there's still some pressure here to do good, but you know, you know you're going to make it, and that's always a nice sigh of relief.
Indeed it is. I have to imagine, as here we're seeing Jason Best in that 47 machine. He is going to be starting to the outside again, taking a leaf out of the book of Johnny Ratley. And Well, John, I got to say it worked for Johnny. I like the mentality here from Best, learning from the number one machine.
Yeah, absolutely, and then it worked just fine. And I think the key to him being getting out there is not going all the way up onto the cushion, but being right above the slick as they go through 1 and 2. That didn't allow that inside car to use the track to swing out on corner exit. It kept him kind of pinned down. I think that you said that, and as you're calling it, so good strategy. And let's see if Jason does that.
Let's see indeed, as the pace truck is ready to go off into pit lane for this 8-lap C-main event. Green flag is in the air, and it is a brilliant start from Jason Best. He's able to pull ahead, and he's going to pull Chris Hill along with him. Hill going to follow in the tire tracks of the 47, as that's going to be Bobby Hayes losing a position right off the start as they work their way onto the backstretch. Everybody in single file here with that great start from Best and Hill.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a magnificent jump by the 47 car of Jason Best there. He got control of this race before they even hit the start-finish line.
And they're going a little bit lower as the 0-5 of Chris Hill. Looked like he was starting to catch up a little bit on the back of Jason Best. Now you can see him poking his nose just a little bit down to the inside there, trying to see if there's anything to be had, but he's got to watch out. Bobby Hayes not letting this go away quietly in that 13 machine. Hayes running a little bit of a lower line now through 1 and 2 as they come out of 3 and 4, looking to see everybody starting to separate themselves out, about a car length and a half in between Best and Hill, and about 2 car lengths in between Hill and Hayes.
Yeah, and this is we've kind of seen this all night here, where one follows the other. But I do expect this to change once the pay window opens, if you will, in that main event.
Indeed it will, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't look like Chris Hill has any intention of backing down or taking things easy. Continues to kind of just try out some lines here to see if he can find any advantage over the 47. That 0-5 looking very, very aggressive, but it looked like it cost him right there as the gap expands through 1 and 2.
Yeah, he got a little, got that back end out a little bit on corner exit there of turn 4, but there's a ton of grip on that low line. I'm surprised that nobody has gone down there and just at least gave it a try. I mean, here's the time to experiment with it. He's got enough room to where if he did try it, he's not going to lose second. But playing it safe, he's going to get a good starting spot for the main. So maybe that's just what he's set on doing here.
Well, I like that experimentation as we cross over the line with 2 laps to go. Still the same distances pretty much between everybody, and no position changes from the first lap of this C main event. It continues to be Best, Hill, Hayes, Segala, and Shinosky as they come to the line to take the white flag from Barney there. And it looks like Best starting to extend that gap a little bit. It's getting up to about 3 car lengths as they come out of turn 2. Bobby Hayes working down to the low side, seeing if there's anything to be had down there, but that advantage about 3.5 car lengths in between second and third. Now it's going to be Jason Best, though, coming out of turn 4 for the final time and taking the checkered flag in the C main. Chris Hill will take the P2 position, followed by Bobby Hayes, Joe Segala, and Matt Shinosky. So a good run there from all of those drivers. Not a lot of passing. Looked like a little bit of follow the leader there, but as we get ready here for the second consolation race, there you can see the results. Best, Hill, Hayes, all of them. And it's going to be J.R. Shepard lining up in pole position for this one, followed by John Wilson. Our very own Steven Spies will be in P3, followed by Hunter Hill with Chris Hazlip and Robbie Robinson behind them. Well, John, as I said, it was a little bit processional there in that C main. Do you anticipate things changing here a little bit? You think drivers going to get a little bit more aggressive, try to take some more chances?
I think so, only because I know that 55 car's in there, and I know that driver pretty well. He won't be content just sitting back and waiting for second. He's a guy that will. Or third or wherever he's at. He's a guy that will go try it to experiment down there. If he can't get it to work, he'll move back up, but I do expect to see maybe a little bit more experimentation here.
Well, we'll have to see if that experimentation plays off. One thing that J.R. Shepard is not experimenting with is starting low. He is going to keep up the trend that we've been seeing here, starting on that outside, as it just seems like carrying that momentum into turn 1 is the way to go.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that we've seen that, now 2-3 races in a row here. So, why not change it here? But It's the same scenario, just right above the slick in 1 and 2. This is much different than last week at Weesport, where you had to get on the binders and make that corner. Here, you just get to hold it wide open.
Well, holding it wide open is exactly what we've seen the leaders here do from those positions. Let's see if J.R. Shepherd is able to continue on likewise with that. As we get ready to take the green flag here in the B main event from virtual Volusia Speedway. As Pace Truck scampers off into pit lane, the 98 having control of the field here right now, waiting for the green flag from Barney the Flagman. And there it is. He is on it. We are racing. Here they go, and it looks like Wilson's going to be able to hold that off. I think Hunter Hale trying to carry a little bit of speed on the outside of Steven Spees as they come out of turn 2 for the first time.
Yeah, and there's Steven right to the bottom to see what he can do down there.
Indeed, we heard Steven talking about how that may be the way to go to try to get something working around here. Looks like J.R. Shepherd is going to opt for that higher lane. Wilson there as well. Spees trying to throw a little bit of a slide job there, starting low, ending up high as they work their way around. A little bit of a move in the back there from Hazlip on Hunter Hill to try to see if that is anything that he can get done. But it looks like as of right now, everybody's staying in single file order as we start lap 3.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing that they're doing this. They're pushing the groove and the cushion higher and higher. With these cars being just slightly underpowered, at some point you're going to have diminishing returns going far up the track because they don't have the power to really make that work. You'll see guys start to be able to use that bottom and make quicker time running the bottom.
Well, it certainly seems like Steven Spees is trying to make that bottom line work to the best of his ability, but not able to catch up to the back of John Wilson, it looks like, as they go down through 3 and 4 now, coming to the line to take the halfway point from Barney the Flagman. That is Chris Hazlip all the way up in no man's land, up into the gray there. Little bit of separation. Again, it looks like Spees is throwing a little bit almost of a modified slider line there through 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that's what you would be doing in a sprint car or a late model or something like that. It's interesting to see. And he does gather a little bit of ground up there on Wilson when he does it on corner entry.
Certainly is as we work lap 6 here, but he just loses out a little bit, and he's got to watch behind. Hunter Hill certainly not going anywhere. Only about 3 car lengths behind him is Hill. Hill able to carry a little bit more momentum there, it seems like, into 3. Let's see what he looks like on corner exit as they cross over the line. Only about a car length and a half in between those two with 2 to go here at Volusia.
Yeah, that exit, if you're just got all 4 tires at the tack as opposed to just being a little bit in the slick, is just a big deal. That's where you've got to have that car at the corner exit.
Well, white flag in the air, so drivers aren't going to have to hold on too much longer. Shepherd continues to lead from John Wilson. Steven Spees down to the inside there, and that looks like Hunter Hill's going to try to carry some momentum. We could have a side-by-side back here for 3rd place, but up front, it's J.R. Shepherd coming out of turn 4, and he'll take the checker flag here in the B main at the line. I think that's going to be Hunter Hill for 3rd. Indeed it is. He is able to steal it at the last possible minute to take 3rd place away from Steven Spees. My goodness, that was a little bit of a dramatic finish there for P3 as we said the final finishing order: Shepherd, Wilson, Hill, Spees, Hazlip, and Robinson. As now drivers head out on track for a 5-minute warm-up session, and it is time once again for us to bring in our in-race reporter, Steven Spees. Steven, a little bit of heartbreak there for you at the end of that consi, just pipped at the line by Hunter Hill.
Yeah, I just decided to run down on the bottom and kind of see what was there once, so I wasn't too worried. We're all making the race, and I'm going to be somewhere in the back regardless, so I wasn't too worried about spots there.
So, Steven, this is John. How much was down there? How close is the bottom to being viable against the top line?
With the way Hunter caught me and passed me in just 1 lap, I don't think it's close at all. It doesn't look like it's there. Maybe after some of this warm-up, if some of that kind of grease gets wore off of it a little bit, if anybody tries to run down there at all, it might be okay. I'm sure some of the top guys here can probably make either line work. I think I got to check some plug wires or something tonight. I don't know. We just driver error or what's going on, but I just don't have it tonight, so I'll just be watching and learning.
Well, you know, when you're watching and learning, sometimes you stumble onto something that works. So there's not anything wrong with that. So you'll be starting. Let me look here at the lineup where you'll be starting at. Looks like you'll be starting 12.
List, John.
Yep, I was starting about 12. You know, outside of just learning, you know, what do you expect from back there? Do you think that there's going to be passing, or do you think it's going to stay? I hate to say, but almost follow the leader up top there.
I think we'll have some. I mean, you know, we always have some spots of close racing here in BRL. You know, it only takes 2 cars to have a good race, whether it's in the front or in the back. So, you know, as long as we're running clean and respectful, that's all that matters. But, you know, I think we'll be able to make some moves, kind of, especially as I'm just getting out on the track here. It looks like it's widening out quite a bit. I'm wondering if you can maybe make even some of the middle just, you know, kind of sliding through the slick, and if you can just catch either your left side on the low tacky stuff, or your right tires on the tacky stuff coming out high. I think we've got a couple of things we can work with here.
Well, most importantly, have you got over to the shack along the backstretch and got any gator bites since you've been down here?
No, but I was going to run down before the race and see if I can find a fistful of bourbon or something by Brandon's trailer and have a couple drinks before we get rolling.
Yeah, and what everybody may not know, if they follow you on social media, you were right by this track, what, 2 months ago, a month ago?
Yeah, we made a trip in January down to Florida, and we're just kind of on a day trip driving around, so I talked my wife into getting to drive by and at least putting eyes on the place. So that was kind of fun, though.
Very cool. Too bad you didn't have some bolt cutters. You just get in and take some laps in the car. And
yeah, I didn't know if that was covered in the rental insurance or not, so I figured I was best not to.
It's probably a good idea. Well, I don't have any other questions, EJ. How about you?
I think you knocked it out of the park there, and I am good as well. Steven, best of luck to you, and yeah, have a good race.
Yeah, I think we're going to need some luck. Thanks, DJ. Thanks, Chad.
Yep.
That was Steven Spees, your in-race reporter, is going to be starting down in the field, so it'll be interesting to see how he is able to make on. But, well, John, these practice sessions looking pretty good here for the number 1 machine of Johnny Ratley. He is quick. Jason Best as well. A couple drivers opting to not take part. A little bit of an interesting strategy there for them.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I mean, laps are laps, and I'm always keen on getting them and whatnot. But you're looking at these times between, you know, Best and Northcutt. Best is going to be back a little bit, but Ratley, Northcutt, there's not a whole lot of breathing room between them. But I'll tell you one note, though. Brandon Proudfoot's, you know, a little ways down the list there, all the way down to P6. Be interesting to see if he's just experimenting out there, or if that's really truly his pace, and we may see a fresh face up the front if that's the case.
We may indeed. It'll be absolutely fascinating to watch, but we won't have long to wait because the checkered flag is in the air for our warm-up session, and we are just about ready to get racing here for the A-Main. That's right, 40 laps around this half-mile, the fastest half-mile in the world, as Volusia likes to call itself. Starting off in pole position, it will be William Hargraves, followed by Johnny Ratley, with Billy Northcutt and Brandon Proudfoot lining up behind them. Jason Best will be in 5th, followed by J.R. Shepard, with Chris Hill 7th and John Wilson in 8th. John?
And starting 9th will be Bobby Hayes, and next to him will be Hunter Hill. Starting 11th will be Joe Segala, and next to him is going to be our in-race reporter, Steven Spees. The next row, starting 13th, will be Matt Shanoski. Next to him will be Chris Hazlett. And rounding out the field, it might be Robbie Robinson.
Indeed, as we've got a couple of drivers that will be given EOL penalties here, so they will have to go to the back. Hunter Hill, John Wilson, Joe Segala, that result of the stewards' decisions following the last race in Weed Sport. But as we get ready to go here, I have to ask you to play prediction time. John, who do you have your eyes on?
Oh, boy. I look at those front 2 rows and think, wow. See, Hargraves takes the outside. You know what? I'm going to go with the 71 there of Hargraves. See if we can do fresh face up there. If he can control the start here, maybe he can control the race.
Well, we'll have to see if that is the case. Waiting for those drivers to filter back. Remember, it is Hill, Wilson, and Segala. Hunter Hill, I should clarify, because we do have 2 Hills in the field. All given EOLs as a result of infractions in that race at Weed Sport last week. As you said, though, William Hargraves going to be starting to the outside here. Ratley going to be to his inside. We get the 1-to-go marker at the line, and then we are on for 40 laps. Remember, caution laps do not count here, so you are guaranteed 40 laps of green flag racing around this Volusia Speedway. It's going to be fascinating to see who plays this out, who is going to be able to do anything. And as always, you can never count out that number 22, even though he's starting back in 4th position, although he has some fierce competition around him. He worked it.
I was going to say, and just an update, Robbie Robinson has loaded up and packed up for the night and put her on the trailer.
All right, so a bad start there for the 56 as we're only going to have a 14-car grid, but the pace truck pulls off to the inside, waiting for the flag. And there's the flag. We are racing in Volusia. It's William Hargraves off to a great start there with Johnny Ratley behind him. Proudfoot working on the high line with Billy Northcutt trying to keep down low. J.R. Shepard looks like he's going to be able to pull a little bit of momentum and get himself around Jason Best. And that's going to be the only change in position as Northcutt continues to work on that low side. Really the only driver in the top making it work, but he's going to come up and challenge Ratley.
Yeah, Northcutt's really got that bottom working. I guess when they were out there for practice, it worked it in a little bit. He's just not dropping like a rock. Still looks like the advantage is to the outside just a little bit, but that bottom looks a heck of a lot closer than what it did in the Consies.
It certainly does. Is he going to be able to slot himself into position there as he's going to keep going down low, and now the 22 of Brandon Proudfoot going to follow him, but Proudfoot going to run a little bit of a slider there. That's going to allow for Northcutt to be able to have a little bit of the opportunity to slide back into line. He's going to opt to go high now through 3 and 4 now that he's been given that opportunity. A little bit of a crossover move there for Johnny Ratley as he makes a move for the lead on William Hargraves. Is it going to be a slide job? Indeed it is, but Hargraves able to respond and comes with the cutback.
Nice crossover by Hargraves here, and he's going to be able to do the slide job, return the favor over here in 3 and 4. Let's see if Ratley can cross him back over down the front stretch.
Doesn't look like he's able to, but he's at least able to get a little bit of crossover as they cross over the start-finish line again. There is that crossover coming back for Hargraves. Oh, a little bit of a bump there between Ratley and Hargraves, and that's going to check up William Hargraves, allowed for Billy Northcutt to maybe have a little bit of a look, as now it's going to be him down to the inside. That is Hargraves almost making a 3 ride. There was Brandon Proudfoot. We go Noah's Ark into 1.
Yeah, Proudfoot is on the wall here. So, yeah, that, as we kind of thought might happen, that bottom is going to be competitive here.
It certainly is. And your pole sitter, William Hargraves, trying to make it as competitive as possible. Throws the slide job on Ratley. Ratley tries to cross over, but Proudfoot is there. A little bit of contact between the 1 and the 22. That's going to allow for Billy Northcutt to be able to have a little bit of a chance to be able to get his way back up forward. He's going to be challenging, but he's got to check himself up against Johnny Ratley. Proudfoot now falling back into 4th, but continues to run that low line. Hargraves also going low. Ratley in a little bit of no man's land there, but able to hold the line and keep it going well.
Yeah, and keep in mind, running the bottom is much more difficult than the top. You've got to really kind of work your throttle a lot more, be a little bit more patient getting back, and how hard you get back into it. You miss a little bit, you're dead in the water. Top is a little more forgiving, so these guys are doing a great job on the bottom, staying competitive here and keeping the fight up.
Indeed, they are single file for the first 4, but J.R. Shepard starting to get a little bit interested in everything here. Thought I had to have a little bit of a look on Billy Northcutt, but that's going to not pan out for him. We continue to focus on the lead there as Ratley goes high, Hargraves goes low. Hargraves not looking like he's going to throw a slider. He wants to stick down to that tack down to the inside. Proudfoot, though, trying to get a little bit of a move on Johnny Ratley, but he is rebuffed. He's not going to have it. All drivers looking to try to take a little bit of that low line, and again, Johnny Ratley just seeming to drive through the gray, but he's making it work for that number 1.
Yeah, the key to doing that is really getting your car to roll and managing your throttle. Big time. We got contact over in turn 2.
Indeed we do, and that's going to bring out a yellow flag. I think that may be Steven Spees collected in it, unfortunately. Our in-race reporter in the 55 machine. I think Bobby Hayes may have been caught up in that as well on the 13. Yep, that was contact there between Hayes and Spees, and John Wilson catching a piece of it, as was Matt Shinosky and Chris Hazlip. And Hunter Hill, I believe, pretty much the entire back half of the field catching some of that.
Yeah, that's a tough break for our in-race reporter. It looked like Best, I think that was, not Best, but the 13 there, Bobby Hayes, just drifted up slightly once he got in the slick there, and it didn't take much to get Steven turned around.
No, it really and truly didn't, and so now drivers resetting here a little bit. We should have the lights go out this time around, as nobody will lose a lap because caution laps do not count. Should get restarted here on lap 12, I believe, as they come back around, keeping an eye on that pace truck. Lights are still on, it looks like, so another lap here to form up, but I got to tell you, John, it looks like all lines are feasible here to be taken. Very competitive racing at the front of this field.
Absolutely. These guys are really getting after it here, and I can't wait to see this restart. I think this is just going to be some fantastic racing.
I have to agree with you there. It's been great thus far through these opening 11 laps. As I said, we will restart just about past the quarter mark on lap 12. Waiting to see here what line the 71 chooses to take. It looks like he is going to opt to start on the high side yet again.
Yeah, and I do think that's the right call. I think that's still just a little bit more quicker around than what the bottom line is. But I don't know how much longer that's going to be. Is, you know, what's happening is that top line is getting further up the track, a longer way around the track. Even though you may not go as fast, that shorter is still going to be better on the stopwatch.
Yeah, indeed. We'll have to see, because the pace truck is ready to head back into pit lane after our first caution period of the day. The sun continues to set here in Florida. Waiting, there it goes. Control of the field goes to William Hargraves. He's a little bit late on the pedal, but he's able to get a great jump over Johnny Ratley. Northcutt trying to force his way up high. Ratley going to block him off a little bit. That's going to check up Billy Northcutt as they work their way out of 2. Brandon Proudfoot has a nose ahead, but they're going to be side by side for 3rd place. Also side by side behind them between J.R. Shepard and Jason Best. Proudfoot now trying to make a move on Johnny Ratley, but he's got to check his momentum up a little bit, and that's going to allow for Ratley to go on by and give a little bit of momentum over to Billy Northcutt.
What a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. Those guys are not giving each other an inch, and they're pulling it off of you. They're still being respectful, and you know what, GJ, I can't see a line that's better right now.
Neither can I, but Proudfoot trying to muscle his way on past Billy Northcutt, but Billy Northcutt says, no, thank you, I want to hold on to 3rd. Able to keep himself in contention there, but Proudfoot now has a nose ahead as they come into 3. Up for the lead, it's going to be Hargraves down low. Ratley making that middle line work again. Proudfoot tries to check up on Billy Northcutt, but that's not going to happen. Billy Northcutt able to pull himself ahead.
And don't look now, that 47 who is quick in practice is starting. Oh, he got really sideways there coming out of 2, but he's starting to get into the top 5 here and wanting to get up and get in the fight.
Indeed, he is. 15 laps about to be in the books here at Volusia, and it looks like a little bit of a breakaway, the biggest breakaway we've seen at any rate for the top 3, as Hargraves continues to lead from Ratley from Northcutt. Brandon Proudfoot falling back a little bit to the tune of about 2.5 car lengths as they come out of 2. Now he starts to get things back under him, as that's going to be the 22 trying to work on the high side. The lone man in that group working high, trying to see if anything will happen here. Ratley trying to find a little bit of a pass to be able to get by on William Hargraves, as Ratley may have to the inside here coming into 3.
He got that nose inside of him, and let's see what the drag race looks like going down the front stretch between these 2.
Indeed, let's see. Ratley looks like he's got a little bit of a lead there as he comes in. It's going to be Ratley in the lead. Billy Northcutt now trying to look down to the inside of William Hargraves as they make their way into 3 and 4. Very, very close, trying to drop Brandon Proudfoot, but that's Jason Best trying to put the moves on the championship leader.
Yeah, all of a sudden, the bottom is where you got to be, it looks like. And Best gets really sideways, kicks that back end out in 1 and 2. That's going to kill his momentum down the backstretch.
Yeah, indeed it is, but it looks like Billy Northcutt trying to see if he can get anything on Hargraves. Not going to make it work there. Still side by side, back for fourth place. We jump onto the chopper cam there as J.R. Shepard trying to insert himself into that conversation as well. Better jump off of one, goes to Brandon Proudfoot. He's got a mega burst of momentum, and he's going to try to keep riding that high line and get back into the podium contention.
Yeah, just carried so much speed into the corner, and it's the momentum off the bottom there for Northcutt, just able to hold them off here.
Able to hold him off, able to slide just ahead of him. That was contact between the leaders there of Ratley and Proudfoot. Ratley almost around. Apologies issued on the radio, unintentional contact, but that hurt Hargraves more than it hurt Ratley. Ratley still got a big advantage, but Hargraves falls back to third.
Hargraves is going to have a good run down this backstretch to reclaim second, probably pretty good here. Let's see what he does once he gets to 3.
And Proudfoot finds himself in third position now, fighting away, and no, he is not going to have it, as that's going to be Northcutt that's able to slot in front of him. Northcutt now funneling down to the low side. Hargraves bottling it up for the lead. Ratley holds about a 3-car length advantage, though, over William Hargraves. Billy Northcutt able to get it, and Jason Best again trying to get his way by the once and future champion Brandon Proudfoot.
Absolutely. They almost look 4 wide coming out of turn 3 or 4 here, and side by side for that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th position. What a great race.
Absolutely fantastic. Best tried to bite off it a little bit more than he could chew there, trying to send a move on Billy Northcutt. That's going to send him back in the order just a little bit. He'll have to settle for 4th places. Now that's going to be Proudfoot trying to work his way around the outside of him, but not able to get it quite done yet. Ratley continues to lead by about 3 to 4 car lengths. Northcutt trying to get past by William Hargraves, but not working. It looks like he bogged down in the corner. That's going to open up an opportunity to Jason Best here coming into 3.
Best has really got a good car here. You know, if he gets a caution, able to get right back up on these guys, man, oh man, that's going to be something else to watch.
And that is Jason Best. He had a nose ahead at the line, tries to throw a big old slider there on Northcutt, but the rear end slips out on him a little bit. He'll have to settle for 4th. That is J.R. Shepard, one of Brandon Proudfoot's old rivals. We haven't seen this kind of performance out of J.R. Shepard in a long time, really since the new tire model took into effect in these dirt street stocks, but he is coming alive, trying to put Proudfoot down into 6th place. Best continuing to try to get that move done on Billy Northcutt, but it doesn't look like anything can happen. The battle now for P4.
Yeah, this is great. Great racing between these guys. Just so close, and you're not seeing any mistakes where guys are getting into each other. Just unbelievable racing here.
Unbelievable racing. Johnny Ratley, by the way, has been able to extend that gap up to about 4 or 5 car lengths. Shepard tries to look down to the inside of Brandon Proudfoot, but it doesn't quite work out. Best going low, Proudfoot going high, Shepard going low. Everybody trying to find their angles to the best that they can. Shepard almost had a little bit of overlap there between himself and Proudfoot, but it not working out. We ride on board with the 98 here as he continues to try to work his way forward. The low line not looking like it worked out to his advantage there through 1 and 2, but he's going to try it through 3 and 4 here in the mid.
This is crazy. We now have pretty much 2nd through 9th lined up here, bumper to bumper, as these laps are winding down and decide the final 10 laps to go.
Brandon Proudfoot carrying momentum into that corner so much that he cocked the left side wheel, the left front wheel up into the air, trying to get an outside move done on Jason Best, but Jason Best says, no, thank you. I do not want to give that position away. They're going to drag race across the start-finish line, and it's going to be Best going super low. Proudfoot again super high, but Best is able to best him.
Yeah, Jason got through, but look at Brandon coming back to the inside. Now he's going to be on the bottom and see if he can get it to work.
He is indeed. Is Jason going to be able to carry the momentum? He's going to certainly try to. Just a little bit of overlap there for the driver of the 47 as he tries to hold on to that 4th place position. Slide job there for Brandon Proudfoot, but Best sees it coming, gets a crossover, and they drag race again into 3.
Neither one of these guys are backing down. Oh, contact.
Big bump to the outside for Brandon Proudfoot. That's going to shuffle him down to 7th, maybe 8th place position. This could have massive implications for the championship.
Yeah, and JR's looking to take advantage of both of them, and now he's got his nose to the inside of Jason Best here.
Proudfoot able to settle himself back into 7th as he tries to work his way by Chris Hill right now down to the inside. J.R. Shepard trying to get by Jason Best. Up at the front, it's relatively calm between Radley Hargraves and Northcutt. And I say relatively, as this has been an amazing action-packed race here as we continue to work our way around.
Yeah, the battle from like about 4th on back to 9th. These guys are now just right on top of each other. And look after that wreck. Look who's up there now. Steven Spees is at the back end of this pack, trying to work his way back up to the front after that misfortune.
Indeed he is. He rides around in at 9th as we come by the line here for 5 laps to go. As there you see Proudfoot just trying to squabble with Chris Hill. This is one of the better battles on track right now. Proudfoot throwing a big down low line. He's going to throw the slider but has to check himself up as Chris Hill's able to carry the momentum up around the high side to be able to keep that at bay. We come to the line here with 4 to go now. Time running out for all the rest of the drivers. 4 to go. Ratley continues to lead. Northcutt trying to get something. That was J.R. Shepard taking a big look down to the inside of Jason Best, but not quite able to get it done there. Ratley continues to go. Here comes a move for Billy Northcutt. Is he going to throw the slide job? Yes, he is! Finally able to pip that position away from his teammate in William Hargraves, but Hargraves is not done yet as we have 3 to go here at Volusia Speedway. It's going to be momentum versus the shortest point from point A to point B, and it looks like momentum is going to favor Billy Northcutt.
Yeah, these guys are going to be dead even coming off the corner again, and the drag race once again down that front straightaway, almost even at the line as they barrel into 1.
Even at the line as they barrel into 1, 2 laps to go here at the virtual Volusia Speedway. It looks like Hargraves is able to get that position back, but the momentum's going to favor Billy Northcutt. Johnny Ratley runs the car into turn 4 for the penultimate time, taking the white flag here at Volusia. Hargraves able to hold off Northcutt for now, boxes him in against the wall. Hargraves down low, Northcutt up high. Who is this going to be? They've only got 2 more corners to decide it. It looks like Hargraves has got the advantage, but there may not be enough time for him to be able to make it work. Here they go through 3 and 4 for the final time, but up front, Johnny Ratley takes victory. Behind him, Hargraves barely holds on to P2, and Billy Northcutt will take P3.
Oh, wow, what a good race that was.
My goodness gracious, catch your breath as much as you can. That was excitement. If that doesn't get your blood going, I don't know what does. As there you can see those final finishing orders. As we said, Ratley, Hargraves, and Northcutt rounding out your podium here today. Jason Best in 4th with J.R. Shepard in 5th. Brandon Proudfoot able to recover after that contact to come home in P6 with Hunter Hill in 7th place, John.
I do not have the line to hold. Sorry about that. And finishing 8th, it's going to be Steven Spees. 9th will be Christopher Hill. 10th will be Bobby Hayes. John Wilson comes home 11th. Joe Segala finishes 12th. 13th is Matt Shanowski, and rounding out the field is going to be Chris Hazlett.
An incredible race from top to bottom. That is, I believe, the least number of cautions we've had in at least a season. Some fantastic stuff, but we are ready to talk with the man himself, Johnny Ratley, who was able to take victory here. Johnny, some pretty close slicing and dicing there at the beginning, but it looks like once you were able to establish that lead, you ran away with it.
Yes, sir, man. This is like one of my favorite tracks, man. I love racing here. That thing was on a rail tonight.
You certainly were, and it looked like you were never in doubt, really. I mean, you just kind of had this thing on lock, but talk to me about that battle with Hargraves trying to find that grip and finally getting by.
Yes, sir, DJ. I don't know. Me and Will was dicing it out, throwing a couple sliders on each other at the beginning of the race. It felt like the top was the place to be at the beginning, but I just didn't know. I was waiting for that bottom to come in. I knew the bottom would come in, and on that one last restart of the race, I think William took the high side. And then I was just grinning because I knew that bottom was coming in, and I was able to sneak on by him.
I love that. I'm just picturing you having that big grin when he makes up to make that move. Well, But I've got to ask you, Johnny, looking ahead to next week, it's a bit of an unknown. We go to I-55 Speedway, a new track here on the service. Is that something you're looking forward to, or are you a little terrified by it? How do you think it's going to go?
Terrified by it, really. I haven't been in any race on that track yet. I've probably turned about 50 practice laps there on an open setup, not a fixed setup. So I haven't raced there yet. I know Billy has, and I believe William has. I think they're going to be pretty strong. I know they're going to be pretty good. So I'm going to have to get on here and turn some laps and try to figure that place out.
Well, we wish you all the luck in the world on it, Johnny. But as for tonight, is there anybody you'd like to thank for your first victory of the season?
Yes, sir, man. I want to say congrats to my team, Dirt Painter, man. We done 1, 2, 3 tonight, man. That's man, great accomplishment. I want to thank Lowell for putting on the league. I want to thank Wild Bill for my rap, Viv's Liquor. I want to thank y'all guys for the broadcast, man. It's a hell of a broadcast. I love going back after the race and watching it and kind of see how things shook out. I look forward to watching it tonight, most definitely.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, Johnny. It was a heck of a race to watch, and congratulations once again on the victory.
Thank you, buddy. See you next week.
We'll see you then. That was Johnny Ratley, your victor here today. And now, John, I believe you've caught up with P2, Mr. William Hargraves.
William, this is John. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, what a race that was. You guys ran all over that track, at the bottom, on the top. How hard was that, keeping up with where the fast line was?
Yeah, it was definitely changing quite a bit there. And being the leader, I mean, I knew the bottom was there, but I thought it was going to work, or that top was going to be all right. And so you just never really know leading, but that's the way it goes sometimes, too. I mean, heck of a race. Pretty much everywhere it kind of sounded like all night.
Yeah, it really was. You guys put on one hell of a show. And, you spoke about being up there leading. You led a good part of this, and I know that you're probably going to not have the finish you want, but leading laps like that, how much does that build your confidence going into next week?
Leading's always fun, and it always helps for sure. Where's next week at?
I don't know. DJ, where are we going next week?
We're going to Federated Auto Parts Speedway. We're going to the new I-55.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun track. What kind of laps have you had there, and what's your expectation for that?
Oh, I've ran a few races there, nothing too crazy, but the one race I did run there, I was able to pull off a win real late in the race. I think that'll be a real racy track. That should be a lot of fun, actually.
I agree. I tell you what, though, you had a great run tonight, great finish, good points tonight. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast as always. Luell for putting it on, this league on for everybody to race. Got to thank Malum Electric, Motor Sales. I'd like to thank Viv's Retail Liquor. I got to thank Wild Bill's Race Designs for always keeping us fresh looking and good looking rides. All my Dirt Panda Racing teammates. Hell of a job tonight, Johnny, man. You were fast, dude. Good racing, Billy, everybody. That's it.
Well, congratulations again on your runner-up position. That's William Hargraves, our second-place finisher tonight.
Thank you to William. And now I have the pleasure of chatting with Billy Northcutt, our third-place finisher. Billy, you started third, you ended third, but that is not the tail of the tape at all. That looked like a wild one.
Oh, yeah, that was a crazy race right from the get-go. I mean, you get Brandon and Johnny and William up there starting up front, and I mean, I was right there with them, and I was just trying to hang on as much as I could, and I've gotten fourth the first couple races because those guys just seem to be a tick better than me at every track. It seems like to start the season, and I was trying my darndest to stay up there with them and have a little fun, and we didn't ever have any wrecks or anything up there, so I was glad the way it worked out. It was fun.
Well, talk to me a little bit about finding that grip around there, because it looked like you were willing to go low and then go high at different points during the race. I mean, how were you feeling it out? Was it gut instinct, or were you doing a little bit of go where they ain't, as they say?
Oh, I was kind of searching. I was just checking and seeing. I mean, it seemed like for most of the race, William and Johnny had a pretty good hold on me if I was running the same line as them. There wasn't really anything I could do. And Brandon was right on me. I felt like I got in his way a couple of times. I wasn't paying too much attention to him back there because I was trying to make sure I wasn't going to take out my teammates in front of me if I was trying something different or trying different lines. But there was a couple of times where I ran a different line and I could just feel that he was like right there. Like he was like, dang, that's just how it works out sometimes when one of the top four are that close and fishing around for lines. Because I know that Brandon had a car good enough to run up there with Johnny and William as well, and just had a couple of bad luck there. But I mean, for me, I was trying to find speed anywhere possible. I could get a pretty good lap up top in 1 and 2 there late in the race, and I even got a pretty good run and got around William for a second, and then the next lap I kind of jumped the cushion a little. You had to hit it just right or you were kind of screwed to sit and duck up there. So I got around him and then kind of gave it right back, but I don't necessarily mind that. I mean, you gotta give it your all and see what happens,
Well, exactly, and you put on a heck of a show for us, so I personally thank you. But I have to ask the same question we asked both Johnny and William ahead of you. We head to the unknown next week. We head to I-55. Have you gotten a chance to run there? How do you think that's going to be going?
Oh, I mean, I ran maybe 30 laps around there so far. I should probably get on there and practice a little this week. Because I'm not entirely sure where the racing lines are there. I've watched a couple of broadcasts of different leagues there to kind of see where the line ends up, and it honestly seems a little different each time. So I'm not sure where the fixed setup lines up, if it's going to be top dominant or if we're going to be able to run the bottom. But the guys running this league are good enough to adapt either way and still put on a good race.
Well, I know we're looking forward to it, but as for tonight, Billy, third place, anybody you want to thank for the podium here today?
Yeah, I want to thank Lowell for putting the league on, and you guys for broadcasting, my friends and family that watch these races. Viv's Liquor, big sponsor of our team. Thanks to her, and I just thanks to Brandon, because I know that he was probably faster than me about that whole race, and he raced me super clean. That's what we do in here, we try to race clean, even if it costs us a chance at winning, and he kind of did that today. I know he could have just moved me out of the way at any point probably in that race and went fishing for the podium, for those top two. But so a big thanks to him for the way he races. And I know Jason Best, the same thing. He was behind me a lot today too, and was right on me the whole time. So he could have done the same thing. So just a shout out to the guys that are racing clean and settling for positions that they maybe could have been faster than. That's what makes this league great. That's what used to make it great. And we had a tough stretch, and now we're trying to get back to that. So I'm glad that it's working out that way. It's been really fun.
Well, we love seeing it. And Billy, thank you and congratulations once again.
Yep, thank you.
Well, that was Billy Northcutt, your third place finisher here today. And folks, that's about going to wrap things up for us here. But on behalf of myself, DJ Clark, John Hine, Mike Yao, and the rest of the VGN team, we'd like to thank you for joining us here at the virtual Volusia Speedway. You heard us mention it. The next race, we step into the unknown. We head to the I-55 Speedways next Friday, April 8th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The next broadcast on the channel, though, that's going to be tomorrow as the BRL Super Late Model Series heads to Hickory Motor Speedway live at 8:55 p.m. We'll be back for that race at I-55. This has been the production of Virtual Grip Network, and until we see you on the track, thanks for watching.
This is iRacing, the world's premier online racing game. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat to experience today's newest form of competitive motorsport, virtual racing, all from your home PC. Race virtually in endorsed series from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, the World of Outlaws, Aussie supercars and more. Take on legendary circuits like Daytona, Silverstone and the Nürburgring. Join iRacing's global online racing community and get on track today at iRacing.com.